Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Mabi and I just finished playing a game called Help Will Come Tomorrow. In fact, all of the footage you're seeing today is coming straight from our Let's Play channel. So if you want to see my first impressions and raw gameplay, check it out. There's a link down below. Come by the Twitch. So this is going to be my review and thoughts video on it. If you are on the fence about it or you don't know about this game, I will let you know my pros, my cons, and I will explain a lot of the gameplay flow and just what it's all about. So, this game comes out April 21st, so it comes out yesterday as I uploaded this video. It takes place in the Siberian wilderness in Russia. It takes place in the, I think, early 1900s during the October Revolution. Now, during that, the outcome is Russia became the very first communist country. So there's a lot of, like, horror, homelessness, unfairness, killing going on, and it's just a horrible time. So this game, the genre pretty much is heavy survival, a lot of different choices to make, and really big on narrative, and it's very, very, very big on RNG, aka random number generation. So, like I said, all the footage is from the Let's Play, check it out. So the goal of this game, and you're going to be dying and retrying a lot, especially when you're just first starting off the game without any help, just trying to figure it out. The goal is to simply survive. You start off with 4 random characters, you have to build a base, you have to gather resources, and you have to complete quests. There are multiple different types of endings, and hopefully you guys can do way better than I did. I was terrible at this game. But before we get into all the nitty-gritty details, is this game a recommendation for me? It's very hard. It is very hard to recommend this. It really attracts a certain audience. People that love restarting and love RNG. So, I'm going to go into how a typical game plays. First of all, like you said, you start off with 4 random characters, and depending on the difficulties, I'll get to those later. There's a lot of differences. So every character starts off with 3 action points, and with those action points, you can do lots of different things. You can shovel snow. You can upgrade your base, such as creating a fire, making a med bay, making a workstation, and then once you build those base stations, you can go into those base stations, and there's different trees that you can go down to upgrade. For instance, like that campfire, within that campfire, you can do a water filter, make a bigger water filter, you can make a pot, a greater pot, and then you can go to the med bay, you can make tools, etc. So every single thing takes action points. And it is almost like playing a single player board game. It's like a worker placement where the only thing that's against you is time. And it's tough because even though it is worker placement, essentially, it just feels not that fun. It's more of a chore to try to figure out what the best scenario is and which best way to upgrade first, but it really depends on what your characters bring in. So besides fixing and upgrading your base, you're going to go exploring. There's a map where you also have to be using your character's AP, and the map is pretty static every time you play. Like specific resources are usually always at the top, some at the bottom, more danger in certain areas. So once you play and lose, you'll figure out, hey, if I go up here, I can get water without using a filter, but of course I have to walk up there. And if I go down here, I gotta make sure I bring weapons, etc. So everything just uses AP, and you will never ever have enough to do anything you want to make everything perfect unless you're probably playing on medium. So playing on easy. So exploring, and there's tons of random events that happen, especially when you're exploring. Sometimes you're just searching and then you find an animal. You can chase the animal, you cannot. If you chase it, if you don't have weapons, you have a good chance of getting hurt by them. If you go down south towards the train to search for materials, you have a good chance of maybe running into some of the soldiers, so you can get shot there. Also, after every single day, because this does go in day cycles, you have to keep up your warmth, you have to keep up your food, you have to keep up your water, you have to keep up your injuries. There's a lot to take in, but after like an hour or two, it becomes second nature, and you can see all the different symbols, and you're like, okay, I gotta make sure I have enough water today here, but I have to make sure we have a water filter. But but this guy's hurt, so do I prioritize making the water filter, or do I feed everyone this crappy water I found and instead try to make the med bay? But man, I can't make the med bay because I need very specific string, so I have to go out and explore. But I can't explore because these people are too busy trying to cook, so you are always moving around. And honestly, at the very start of it, it is fun trying to figure out what the best thing is. But then after a while, you start to figure out like, hey, I know exactly what I want and what I should be doing. I know the minimum resources that I need, so I can go ahead and do the more important stuff, or my characters will die, run away, get missing, etc. But it all comes down to RNG. And I'm not even kidding when I say like this is like a really heavy luck-based survival game. Let's quickly talk about the difficulties as well. I played on medium for my first couple of runs, and if you read the description, it says a perfect balance of survival and narrative, because narrative does play a factor. I'll explain that in a bit. But then you know, even if you play on easy is way too easy. Medium, it's a little too hard, and then there's like the crazy hard mode. And you playing on easy as opposed to medium, what's the big difference? You get more resources, less resources medium. Your characters have higher chances of getting really negative perks on medium. You know, for example, maybe, and this one really, oh, it's so terrible. It's so terrible if you get this one character. This person comes with the trait incompetent, meaning whenever they do a task, let's say a task requires you to build a fence, you always have a chance to fail. It doesn't say what chance. And especially if you get drunkards too, chance to fail, lose your AP. It can happen multiple times in a row. Lose your resources. It's a total game changer and it ruins everything. It's so bad. Just like what character, you have no control of what characters you get at the beginning, nor do you have control of which perks they succumb to. Because everybody has the same perks. You can always see, okay, there's always like a girl with a purple dress. So sometimes if you get her, she always gets hungry faster than other characters. Sometimes she's always incompetent. If you get this guy with like a yellow coat, he always is a drunkard. And he always is a socialist and stuff like that. So everyone always has different traits. But then depending on medium or easy, they become mostly negative or positive. And then they slowly come up during the gameplay. So if you build something with somebody else, you have a chance to unlock another thing, like, oh, this character is caring. So there's a lot of traits. So pretty much you are building your characters as you play, and then at the end of every single workday, after everyone's AP is done, you're going to be sitting at a campfire, and you pretty much have to choose from some narratives, and then you have to pretty much find out who these characters are, and you get to choose, like, this character, will this person say this good thing or this negative thing? Now, depending on the character, if this character is super negative, you kind of want to say the negative thing. You try to want to role play what they would say, so you gain a certain stat. So besides, you know, people dying from health, you can also get like different morale buffs. Sometimes there's trusting, there's a relationship, and there's credit. You know, if someone's really good at building and they build that thing with all the best resources, they get a lot of credit, and the overall camp morale goes up, and they will work better with other players. So there is a sort of sense of camaraderie where you definitely want people to work together. Like, okay, we're gonna go out exploring. I know these two will work together. Let's have them go. Well, this guy, hey, he just learned something about cooking, so I'm gonna leave him here cooking, and sometimes he won't use an AP while doing so. So every run, even though you will be getting sometimes the same people, and there's a good amount of different characters to get randomly, you can always quit and restart if you do want to try to get the perfect team. Because everyone has their ups and downs, but you always want people researching. You always want people creating items, cooking, exploring, and repairing everything, etc. There's a lot of things to juggle. But like I said, even if you master it of what to do next, like, I know this is what I have to do no matter what. If you don't get the item, you're dead. You are dead. Now, really quick, what's a good positive? The artwork is awesome. The narration is top notch. There's a lot of cool little events with little stories in there, and every character has a background. So some character has like a missing brother, and she always wants to go search for them. And sometimes a quest pop up where you have to go down to the train tracks and find them, but you have to prepare with weapons beforehand. And you know, there's a lot of cool things like that, but it kind of feels like the narration portion, like This War of Mine. I don't know if you guys have ever played that. It's a game that has to deal with war and the victims of it. Pretty much, it's not going to be on that level of like heart-wrenching, at least for me, of This War of Mine, but it's good enough where you can see where everyone's come from, different social interactions, different classes. It's pretty cool. That's probably my favorite part about it, is different characters at different times, depending on whether they like them or not. Like the drunkard might tell a story, and then you have some high-class lady who, hey, might like it. And I'm like, whoa, that's not what I expected. So the narration and the art is the best part about it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the gameplay is fine, but the RNG loop is so bad. You know, you can get good at this, but like I said, it's a lot of RNG. You have to really manipulate the map, and I would say play this. If you are gonna play this, play on medium once, see how you like it, and then die off. Play easy a bunch of times until you get the hang of things, and then jump back on medium to see what the difference is, because it's crazy. Now, I am saying this is a lot of RNG, and this is a hard game. You know, this game is all about survival. You are meant to die. It's supposed to be hard, but a game that is hard and supposed to be hard, there's a difference between one where you feel like you don't have control, and one where it's kind of a facade. Like, okay, if you have a good plan, you know what to do, but no, it's all luck. This has so much RNG. Whether or not you lose a roll, which you don't have any sort of where you have no input on. Sometimes things just happen that's not of your control. Sometimes you go to a specific area for a specific resource and it just doesn't pop up. You have to see a let's play of this to see exactly what I mean. So I recommend you check out my first couple of episodes that I'm putting on the Let's Play channel. There's a link down below. However, like I said, I did play a couple of more hours off stream playing easy mode just to get more of a feel for it. And I you know what? I stand by it, man. This is such a hard game to recommend. And you know what's another game that this reminds me of? With luck. It's not even in the same genre, but the gameplay loop just reminds me of it. And that's like Five Nights at Freddy's. If you never played that, it's a game where pretty much it's all luck, where you have to keep looking back and forth between cameras, otherwise you die. This feels like this. Like, I'm gonna keep looking here. Oh, I guess I just died. I know it's an extreme comparison, but that's just the feeling that I get. It's hard to explain unless you try it yourself. But the really good thing I have to say about this, it's only $19.99. You can maybe pick it up on a sale, or if you want to support these guys, get it at the full price. But I would say $14.99 is a good price for this type of game for me. So if I had to say if I recommend it, I would barely say yes. The saving grace is the gameplay loop is fun if you enjoy that constant, damn, I'm dying, let's go, I want to beat this thing. But then it's going to feel out of your hands a lot of the time, and that kind of sucks. But like I said, the artwork and the narration, the character interactions, top notch. That's the best way, I would say. So yeah, this game was called Help Will Come Tomorrow. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like. It helps a lot. If you haven't already, subscribe for daily videos. I'm doing something special on my Let's Play channel right now. If you guys are interested, I'm taking game suggestions and doing one-off videos on those. So if you guys want to, come check it out. And let me know what you guys think about this game. Was I being too harsh on it? If you guys have played multiple hours of this, do you feel the same way that I do? Or maybe I'm just totally missing the point here, but I've played tons of games like this. But this one just, I don't know. Maybe I was just expecting more of a longer progression game, but then I just ended up like not. It just wasn't fun for me at the end. But I can see how it is good for a lot of people. So thanks for being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.